to the start of the Festive 500 and Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas Eve. As you've seen already, I went on Zwift early because basically the plan for today was to go and do, like, say a 200k, but obviously with all the stay local stuff and obviously all the new restrictions, that wasn't possible. So I was like, and if I could just do a couple of 100k loops. And the weather this morning was pretty cold. It was like -1. And I was like, there's potential risk of ice. So I thought I'll do half of it indoors and then I'll do half of it outdoors. So, and I think that is why I love Zwift so much. You've seen throughout the year, I just love it. I just think it's so effective and, not effective, efficient. Just love it, absolutely loved it. So done that, and then now I'm gonna head out and just do a steady 100k. The weather is actually, it's cold, but it's really sunny, which is really nice. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So I thought I would take you along, as always, on my cycling little adventure. So I'm about 45k into the ride. I say about 45k, it is pretty much bang on 45k. And today, shock horror, I'm doing a flat route because I think in winter, I don't know, I just think they're better to do some of the flatter routes because I think on the descents it just gets so cold. I'm not going to stay long because once you stop, it's another tip for you, once you stop, you just got to keep going. Also, another tip, I've been quite warm, it's about 3 degrees I think. I watched there was a raffle live on Instagram with the Barn sisters, so Alice and Hannah, and one of the tips they gave for winter riding was wearing 2 base layers, and I was like, oh, I might give that a try, and actually it's working pretty well. It's just my hands that are cold, so I need to get my gloves on. So I guess I'll catch up with you probably when I'm back, to be honest. But yeah, I'm aiming for the 100. If it gets too cold or too dark or grim, I might just head back. But yeah, aiming for about 100. Oh, where's the zip? I'm back, but I had to cut the ride short. So I was wanting to do 100 on turbo on Zwift and then 100 outdoors. And I did 80 outdoors. And I'm not even gonna pretend and be like, oh, it was cold. It wasn't actually that cold. The reason that I've cut it short is because my legs, hamstrings, hips, and back, I just feel like Tin Man. Do you know in Wizard of Oz, it's quite a festive film, in Wizard of Oz where they have to like oil him because he just feels all like creaky? That's how I feel today. And I need to do stretching more than I do because I'm really bad for it. That is, I'm just so bad at it. For the amount of time that I spend on a bike, I spend no time at all stretching, and I think that's what happens when you go out on a longer ride, that you get pain. And then pain can lead to injury, so you just really need to like know when to call it a day on a ride and be like, nah, there's no point, because you're not going to make any fitness gains, or it's not good for your body to if you're in any pain whatsoever. That is going to be my, like, one of my tips for today is know your body and know when to stop, because I think so many of us, I do this, I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, part of me was like, I'll just do another 20k. I was like, no, and spend the time that I would do that 20k stretching and easing out my hamstrings and hips. Anyway, I'm gonna go and get showered and do some stretching. I'll show you the stretches that I'm gonna do, just like quick ones, and then I'll catch up with you in a little bit. These hats are so unattractive, aren't they? I feel like I'm, do you know when people do skydiving? Is it skydiving? Now these like little hats on. I'll tell you what as well, this hat was from Aldi about, God, I think my dad bought it me from Aldi. And it is one of the nicest hats. I've kept it because I love it so much. Look, little Aldi number. It's proper nice fit. Oh God, oh God, look at that. It is a nice fit. That is just from, God, why is that so tight? Didn't feel tight. this year as well that you can do your kilometres for Festive500 on Zwift, and I think that stretching, foam rolling, yoga, all that kind of stuff is even more important when you're doing stuff indoors, like on a turbo, because you are in a much more like static position for a lot longer. That's when I feel like, for me anyway, that I feel a little bit more like tight, I guess, in my muscles. Because I think when you're outside, you're moving around a lot more, so if there's a climb or you're stopping at lights, whereas when you're on the trainer, it's very easy just to stay seated. I mean, yeah, getting out every couple of minutes or whatever, or every 30 seconds even, you're still sat in a much more fixed position. So do as I'm going to do. I need to get better at this because my legs just felt so sore today. So, and I've been doing like races on Zwift. So I've been doing them with Rafa, actually. It's a Rafa women's team. And they've been like every Tuesday. I've done no stretches after them, and they were intense, and I just got off and then that was it. And another thing that I find that really, if you get any pain with your hips, is, I'm going to admit to this, everyone does it, to be fair. Like, I've been working from my soft office, i.e. my bed, a lot more, and when you're kind of sat in bed, your hips are much more crunched up than if you were sat in a chair. And I think sitting in that position for like hours is not good for your hips or anything really, or your back. So yeah, I need to make a few changes, I think. I wanted to make this part of it. This is going to be a segment that I'm going to put in all my videos as I'm completing, well, between now and New Year's Eve, as I'm going to be doing the Festive500, because this year did not go how a lot of us planned. And one of the things that I really wanted to do this year was ride with some of you. If you remember on my 50,000 subscriber video, I said that I wanted you to email me and tell me some of your stories, and I want to come out and ride with you and share your story and help encourage other people to get on their bikes. And I had so many emails, and I was planning to do so many rides with you, and obviously I couldn't. So rather than me not share any of those stories, I want to read some of the emails. I've checked with all these people that you're going to see in these videos that I'm okay to read the email, and they're all happy with it, and I'm hoping that I am still going to ride with some of these people next year, so you will meet them. So I think I'm just going to get straight into it, because I just think it's, anyway, let me just get straight into it. So today's email is from Tom, and I'm really sorry, Tom, if I say your last name wrong. I think it's Bukowski, I hope that's right. So, email. I'm Tom Bukowski. God, I'm so sorry. I'm 38 and live in Devon on the edge of Dartmoor. Throughout my 20s and into my early 30s, I had massive back issues. I had a prolapse disc which was pressing and applying pressure to the L5 nerve. I had an operation to cut away the prolapse part of the disc, which they had hoped would release the pressure on the nerve, but it was unsuccessful. And then there were many other failed treatments, leading me to gain a massive amount of weight, and I topped out around 105 kilos. The orthopaedic surgeon told me that I was heading towards needing a wheelchair by the age of 40. While walking was still possible, I was still in chronic pain, only masked with heavy-duty prescribed painkillers. And 5 years ago, I discovered cycling. I started out slowly, building time and distance and getting more and more into it. I entered a couple of sporties, but never really enjoyed them that much. As I got the bug for cycling, this turned into an obsession, and I started training with more intent. Then I happened across The Loop, which is a charity which organises a charity ride of the Tour de France route 1 week ahead of the pros. I had found my challenge. With this target event booked, I knew I had to start training properly. I'd already lost about 20 kilos, but wanted to give myself the best possible chance of completing the loop, so set about trying to be the fittest and strongest I could be. Cycling helped me lose weight and slowly gain the strength to begin to function more normally, and eventually stop taking painkillers. I don't even take ibuprofen or paracetamol anymore, though I do have to spend 30 minutes after every ride stretching, but ultimately it was the bike which gave me my body back. Long story short, I completed the loop and found that I love long distance cycling. Most importantly, I'm now fit, healthy, strong, and there is no wheelchair on the horizon. I'm doing the Festive500 in 2 days as well, on a route I've come up with that covers the 4 compass points of Devon, so that should be fun. Thanks for the inspiring videos, all the very best, cheers. Tom. I think bikes change so many people's lives and really inspire and encourage other people when you hear stories like this. So thank you so much, Tom, for being so open and sharing it, and it's just so good to hear that you're doing so well and there's no wheelchair, because that's a big thing. Having someone telling that you're going to be in a wheelchair and then you just turn your life around by riding your bike. That's it. I hope you're having a lovely Christmas Eve. Hope you're all set for Christmas tomorrow. If you are able to spend it with your family, fingers crossed you are. And I'll catch up with you either tomorrow or Boxing Day. So I'll speak to you soon. Goodbye. So I had to, I hate starting the sentence with so every time. It's such a YouTuber thing to do. Anyway, that's just as bad. What was I saying? No, not today.